Alright, so today is the 9th day of the Omer, and we'll be learning the 9th method of Kinyan Torah, as described by the Brisa at the end of the Mishnah Yesavos. And the Brisa says the 9th way of acquiring Torah is betahara, with purity. So what does that mean to learn Torah with purity? So I'm pretty certain that I had this day last year also. And so you can look at last year's videos and see I gave a different shot. This year I want to try something a little bit different, a different thought. So the Rambam writes in the Moreh Nevuchim, the Rambam can be found in the Moreh Nevuchim in Chelek Gimel in book 3, chapter 35. And the Rambam writes that the concept of Tumah and Tahara, of ritual purity and impurity, its purpose and its function is to keep people away from the Beis HaMikdash. Now that's a little bit counterintuitive. You would think initially that we want people to go to the Beis HaMikdash. We want people to go and see the Beis HaMikdash, to witness the miracles that took place there, to see the service, to meet the Kohanim. You would think we want people to go all the time to the Beis HaMikdash. You know, there's a big thing right now to try to send people to Israel. We're trying to get people to go see Israel. We want people to go see Israel. So you would think that when we had a Beis HaMikdash, we would have wanted everybody to go to the Beis HaMikdash. And the Rambam writes that the Torah makes a very serious push. All of the halachos of Tumah and Tahara. It's very hard to stay tahor. In a world where you have to worry about Tumah and Tahara, it's very, very difficult to stay tahor, and most people were probably tameh. The Rambam writes that at any given time there were probably only a few people who were tahor, who were ritually clean. And so the Torah mandates all these things to keep people away, keep people out. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? So the Rambam writes that the reason why the Torah does that is because the Torah did not want the visiting of the Beis HaMikdash to become trite. The Torah wanted the visiting of the Beis HaMikdash to be special, to be something that left an impression, it left a mark. It was something that you didn't do all the time. If you could just stop in the Beis HaMikdash for a few minutes on your way home from work, so then the Beis HaMikdash wouldn't be special. Visiting it wouldn't be significant. With all of the halachos of Tumah and Tahara, if somebody wants to go to the Beis HaMikdash, so they have to plan to go to the Beis HaMikdash. They have to prepare for weeks in advance to go to the Beis HaMikdash. You can't just walk in whenever you want. And it made the experience of the Beis HaMikdash all the more significant and all the more important. If that is correct and that is true, then maybe, just maybe, I don't know, but maybe, just maybe, what the Brisa means is that the learning of Torah, if you want to have a Kinyan Torah, you want to acquire Torah, the learning of Torah has to be betahara. Betahara means, maybe, to use the Rambam's workings of Tumah and Tahara, betahara is not that I don't want people to learn Torah. I'm not pushing people away from Torah. But if you want to make a Kinyan Torah, then you have to prepare to learn Torah. It's a very nice thing if you can chop 5 minutes of learning here, if you can chop 5 minutes of learning there. It's a good thing. You should do it. You should do it if you can. But if you want to make a Kinyan Torah, then maybe we need to prepare for learning Torah. And I think that this has two different ramifications, practically speaking, if it's correct. The first ramification would be setting time to learn Torah. You have to plan to learn Torah. You have to prepare to learn Torah. That's learning betahara. If I chop 5 minutes here and I chop 5 minutes there, it's a beautiful thing. It's learning Torah. But that's not learning Torah betahara. Maybe. That's not learning Torah betahara. To learn betahara is to prepare and be ready to learn. But I think there's a second thing also, maybe. If the purpose and the function is so that your visiting the Mikdash should leave an impression, then maybe learning Torah betahara is learning that will leave an impression. And I think that has ramifications not only in preparing to learn, but also in what you decide to learn. Thank God the Torah Hashem is so vast. There is so much Torah to learn that I think that we have to be diligent in picking topics of Torah that appeal to us, topics of Torah that speak to us, that make an impression, topics of Torah that we're excited to learn.